Alright, how's everybody doing today? Figured, got a nice sunny day out today. It's supposed to be high of almost 90 degrees. I figured we'd do some maintenance on the lawnmower before I had to get too far into the season. It's good to do maintenance about once a year at least on your lawnmower. Homeowners, once a year is probably pretty good unless you got issues coming up. Lawn maintenance companies, of course, they're doing hours and hours, hundreds of hours a week with their machines. It's good to do a bit more maintenance on theirs, whatnot. So let me show you what type of maintenance on your home push mower. Everything's going to be pretty much the same, almost every mower out there. You know, yours may vary, so check your owner's manual if you haven't thrown that away yet. But generally, all your maintenance is going to be pretty similar, mower to mower. Riding mowers, I don't have one of those, so I'm not going to get into that, of course. But for your push mowers, you know, we'll do mine and see what we got here. Figured I'd show you. We'll check the air filter. Depending on your yard, mine's pretty decent. Little weeds, of course, for those that can eyeball those. But depending on how much dust and dirt you have, visible, vice, just grass. And even still, just grass stirs up a lot of dust. We'll check our air filter. Spark plug on the front. Just got one spark plug on these. Some of your bigger, like I said, riders, I'm not sure, may or may not have a second cylinder, but actually I even seriously doubt that. But you know, your zero turns and that sort that have bigger motors, they'll probably have a second cylinder. But again, just your regular push mowers. We'll check that guy, which I just replaced last year, so the guy's probably good. What we're going to do, I don't know if the shadow's getting this or not, but your dipstick on this side, it's always good to check your fluid levels before you start mowing, just to make sure that you don't have any leaks or burning anything off or that sort. But we're going to go ahead and do I've noticed a lot of new mowers do not have a drain plug on the bottom. I'll show you the drain plug on the bottom of the mower if we were going to do it that route. But most of the newer lawnmowers out, do not have a drain plug on the bottom. I just found that out last year, in fact, myself, just because, again, my mower is, 15 years old or so, maybe even a little older. But a lot of the new ones don't put that drain plug. You end up draining through your fill tube. We'll show you that here in just a second. So let's get you set up and we'll get busy. Alright, first things first. Got a drain bucket here for us. Go ahead and pull your dipstick out. Just tip this guy on the side. If you noticed or not, that was on the low point there, right at the corner. We'll just let that guy drain while we do all our other checks. And look at this. One season. Look how dirty that is. That's just one season. Just last year, and I only mow once a week, sometimes twice, but generally about once a week around here. And that's how dirty that stuff gets. But spark plug. Let's I decided to go with the E3. I forget what the heck they're called, who makes them. You guys probably recognize the logo, a lot of small engines. These are really good for small engine. They do make them for your cars and that sort too. Honestly, I'm not impressed, and I've never heard much good about them for your, you know, your V8s and your car engines. But for small engines, these guys are actually pretty good. That doesn't look too bad. A little dark, but at least there's no oil burning, nothing seeping through the cylinders or the piston rings, so that guy would be just fine for another year. Just snug her up. Doesn't have to be super tight. Air filter. One screw right in the center here. Again, not too bad at all. A little dusty, but there's no oil or fuel seeping past the carburetor, so it just knocks some of that loose dust out. A lot of times take that inside. If you got an air compressor, if you got just computer, if you don't have an air compressor, got some canned air. But that's pretty clean now. Good enough for another season. Notice I don't have much in the line of loose dust and dirt, so not too bad. If you do, you may want to check it a couple times through the season. Get that guy placed in there. There we go. So that screw. One other thing I need to mention. Your fuel cap, remember this is on its side now. Your fuel cap is opposite your oil fill dipstick. Always tip, even when you're doing just general maintenance, want to check underneath your mower, tip it to the dipstick, the oil fill side. That way your fuel, if you got a leaky fuel cap, does not drain all out and leak all out onto your yard and kill grass or just make a big old mess in your driveway wherever you're at. You don't lose fuel. Always tip it away. This will be on the high side then. All your fuel will be below that cap level and you won't leak any fuel out. So, something to always keep in mind when you're tipping your mower. Alright. Alright, underneath the mower, here, this right here, it's a square plug, whatever you want to call it, but all it uses, you don't even need a special socket or nothing, just a 3/8 drive extension or your ratchet, fits right up in there. Take that plug out, you tip the mower back down onto the drip pan. That's how you normally drain some of these older mowers that still have a drain plug on the bottom of the engine. Otherwise, again, we tip it up on the side, drain out the fill port, whatever you want to call it, where the dipstick goes. Let me go ahead and pop off. I didn't want to give it too much at first. Figured it was going to be looser than that, but as the blade spins, it tightens itself as the mower's running. So, blade's pretty dull. You can always tell when your blade starts getting dull. Not that you necessarily want to do this. Be careful. Could still be sharp, but you can check for nicks. my blade's pretty good. I don't have any rocks in my yard or tree roots, so it's pretty good. There's a nick right there. A couple others, but I think I actually had that last year and I just didn't get blended out completely. I didn't want to file too much at once, so I'll do that here in a bit. But I already cleaned all this up. Get all your grass cleaned up. I used a wire brush. If you need a paint scraper, screwdriver, anything like that to clean all the loose grass, caked on grass off of there before you do this. Reason why I'm going to do this, our MudSlinger. It repels mud and dirt. Anything else, nothing's going to stick to it. I say nothing. It's going to repel. You're not going to get much sticking if it does stick. And then of course speedy cleanup protects against UV rays, which I'm going to end up doing once we tip this back over. I'm going to do the top deck also, to make it easier to clean up and make it look good. But this stuff you just spray on. Get a nice coat on there. Even smells good. Honestly, it doesn't smell like an aerosol or nothing. It doesn't smell like paint. If you wash your deck, wash your mower before doing this, make sure it's dry. One, you can see where you've been when spraying this on, and two, it'll stick better because it's sticking to a dry surface if it's a wet surface. Get your chute where the grass comes out. I know mine has a tendency to gather up and stick right here. So that's going to be good. Alright, looks like we got her covered. Alright. We'll let that dry. I'm going to go inside, put a file to the blade here. I'm going to sharpen this guy back up. Like I say, he doesn't look too bad, but he's definitely dull. No nicks at least, but I'm going to throw a quick edge back onto this. Make sure it's sharp since I've got it off. And I'll be back out. Alright. Got her sharpened up. Didn't take much. As you saw, it was pretty decent to begin with. No big nicks I had to get out or nothing. When you sharpen a blade, of course be careful, you know, if you can get it sharp or not. There are tools out there for sharpening blades. I've never had good luck with them. I just go either to a file, or if it's bad enough, you know, take it to the my not bench grinder, but I've got a belt sander in the garage for woodworking and whatnot. I'll take it to that belt right quick just to get an initial new surface put down on it, and then go to a file to finish up and everything. But when you do, if you do it by hand, there's ways to balance it. They got, of course, those tools what comes with those kits. Otherwise, just hang a nail. When you hang it on the nail, of course, I won't do it here, but you got that single pivot point, and you don't want one end heavier than the other, because then that means that it's out of balance. If one's end is heavier than the other when you balance it on that nail, you'll need to take a little bit more off that one end until it's as close as you can get it to the same weight as the other end, so it's balanced. Otherwise you get vibration, wear out the bearing on your motor, you know, the shaft bearing here and everything, a lot sooner than necessary. Alright, let's see. Another key point. Notice I've got these little fins on this one side of my blade. Those go towards the deck. That's for mulching and cutting the grass extra fine, whatever. I don't know what their idea is behind it. Whether I've noticed a difference or not, I couldn't tell you. But those definitely do need to go towards the mower deck, you know, up, if you will, as opposed to down towards the grass. Down towards the grass, they don't do nothing other than brush across the top of the grass. This way, it'll throw it up towards the deck, and as the wind turbulence from those circulate the grass around, it'll all get reclipped as it flies past the sharp edge of the blade again, and then shoot it on out. So something to keep in mind. Those fins, whatever you want to call them, go towards the mower deck. That's all that guy needs, because like I said, he'll tighten up himself through use. The rotation of the shaft, threads on the bolt counteract, it'll end up tightening itself. That's why you don't ever have to worry about the blade flying off, as long as you got it snug to begin with. But there you go, that's the bottom side. Let's get this guy flipped back over, and we'll finish up topping off with oil. We'll get you around here where we can see halfway decent. All right. Got a bit of oil out. Well, all the oil out. Okay. Small engine oil. We got the 1030, we've got a 1040, and last year we came out with the 530 small engine oil. I've mentioned it before, I'll mention it again. There's a difference between the oil that you put in your lawnmower, in your car, in your diesel, in your weed eater. There's a difference. Everything runs in your boat motor. Different RPMs, different lengths of time at that RPM. With filter or no filter, this doesn't have a filter on it, as you could tell from the color of that oil come out. There's no filter filtering anything. So different oil for different applications. Small engines, we got a small engine oil. I know there's a lot of guys that go out there and just buy Mobil One off the shelf because it is oil. Well, I'm glad that you're doing maintenance on your stuff, but could be doing more harm than good. What did I see here? Another key point. I don't think it's going to come out just because of the glare. Maybe so. Caution, 20 ounces. 20 ounces. Don't know if you can tell that or not. Not sure if every dipstick tells you or not. Otherwise, check your owner's manual if you still have your own owner's manual. 1 quart. 32 ounces. There, right? Am I thinking right? 30 ounces. Anyway, graduate scale, 20 ounces. So actually that kind of makes no sense here because that's backwards. 20, let's see. I'm trying to think backwards in my head here. 20 from 30, so 10. So we'll go down to about this mark right here, about 12 ounces. Let her drip down. We'll check it while it's draining, because of course you got a smaller hole here going into the mower than you do up top here. Gotta let it all drain down to the bottom. Let's go ahead and get a bit in there. Three-quarters of a quart. We'll call it 3/4 of a quart. I don't know. One good thing about doing it this way too, you don't have to worry about remembering to put the drain plug in before you tip it back up. Drain plug never came out. Just tip it back up and start dumping oil. Alright, we're about 12 ounces left in the bottle. So we'll let that drain down a bit. In the meantime, let's get this guy looking a little bit prettier. Just for the heck of it. Gotta take pride in your machinery, don't you? Wash your car, wash your truck, wash your motorcycle. Of course, I've got grass all over this guy now, but at least this isn't being used for my vehicle. It's just a lawnmower, so it'll be okay. Of course, this is going to look nice and pretty when we're done. Also make it a hell of a lot easier when we're done mowing for cleanup. We'll even do the hubcaps. How about that? Try not to spray the engine too much. It doesn't need to be on the engine. Probably just burn off anyway first time I go to use it. All the plastics, all the metal, make everything look shiny and new, like brand new again. All right. I think we got it all covered. Covered good enough. Directions say to make sure surfaces are clean and dry before applying. Shake well. Spray evenly and liberally on desired surfaces. Do not, if you're doing this, your motorcycle, dirt bike, that sort, don't spray on the pedals, seats, brakes, or brake assemblies. It's really slick. You'll either slide off, brakes won't grab. Not good stuff. So just the plastics, metals, anything you want. Don't want mud, dirt, grass, anything like that to stick to. Not safety related to your staying on the bike. Allow to dry for 15 minutes. Wipe off excess with lint-free microfiber cloth. For a brilliant shine. For an extra barrier against mud, snow, leave wet, and do not wipe. If left wet, product may attract dust. It may attract dust, but it'll rinse off real easy. It's not going to stick to it. But of course the bottom side I left wet just because well, it's the bottom side of the mower. Top though, I'll go ahead and wipe it down here in a few minutes. It's nice and hot out. I don't think we need to wait 15 minutes. But we'll let her get tacky, let her absorb in, let it do whatever it does, and then wipe her down. In the meantime, let's go back and check our fluid level for the oil we put in. Oh yeah, I think that's just right, about right, just perfect. Don't know if you can see that or not. It might be just a hair high, but I think that'll be good. It might be just because, might have been another air bubble in there that popped going back down. But we're pretty close to full, so we'll call that good until we can check her here a little later. In the meantime, it's microfiber. Microfibers are nice, but holy crap, they gather everything. I'm not even going to use that. Just use a paper towel. Give it a little wipe down just to make her, if you missed anything, wipe it in, wipe it around, even it out. All right. We got rock stuck in the drain hole here. So there we go. Lawnmower is good to go for another season. I mentioned it's close to 90 degrees out today. It's all right. A lot better than wind and rain that we've had lately. And it's actually supposed to get worse again here coming up. Another cold front coming in the next day or so. One last thing though. For your two-strokes, I always go fill up a 5-gallon jug when I go to the need more fuel for my small engines, lawn equipment, that sort. Saves me from filling up 5 or 6 small cans and just fill up the one. But I always put quick shot in. Quick shot, where am I at here? Gas treatment and stabilizer fights ethanol problems. That's a big one, let alone just keeping your fuel system clean and that sort. But ethanol, not all gas stations have an ethanol-free pump, 100% gas. Most stations will, and depending on your area, all you could find possibly would be the 10% ethanol blend fuel. Ethanol is death for small engines. So this guy right here will help. If you do have ethanol, fight that ethanol, run it through the system, whatever it does to fight that, gather it all up and, disperse it or whatever. As opposed to just water separating from your fuel, dropping to the bottom of the tank, getting sucked up by the fuel pickup and running through your carb, and then you wonder why your engine's running like crap. So quick shot fights ethanol. It does have gas stabilizer in it, so come the end of the year, no need to worry. If you've been topping off your tanks with quick shot all year, every time you fill up, you're going to have fuel stabilizer already in your fuel tank for the end of the year, storage, and be ready to go next season, no problem. But I do, 5-gallon tank is pretty hard to handle. Dump it into a small, weed eater, gas tank, gas can, your lawnmower. Ever dump gas, try to fill up the gas tank and dump fuel everywhere. So instead of trying to lift this big 5-gallon can when it's full, I'll come back home and get my little 1-gallon can. I think it's a 2.5-gallon can that I've got for the lawnmower, just because it uses a lot more, a lot faster. But still, I'll fill up my 1-gallon can. Again, already got the quick shot in this one. Fuel stabilizer, fuel additive, fuel system cleaner. We got Sabre Pro for your 2-stroke equipment. On the back, mix ratios. We advertise, I don't know if there's a glare, because there's a shade, I don't know. We advertise that you can, and it's been tested. You can check our Echo Weed Eater Trimmer study online. Did a study with the Echo Weed Eater, and I think we actually used their oil also. You can buy in the bottle, but tested against ours. But you can, point being, you can check that out online, that Echo Weed Eater study. 100 to 1. Most 2-stroke stuff is what, 50 to 1 or so. I don't even know, because I don't care. I mix all my stuff, 1 packet, this little packet, 1.5 ounce to 1 gallon of fuel, and you're good to go. No need to try to measure out into another bottle, another can, you know, whatever, and dump in there. One packet. We've got other sizes available also. If you want to use one for your 5-gallon can, that sort, but easy. Tear this guy open, squeeze her in. If it opens, just a little squeeze packet. Not that you need to squeeze much because it's pretty free flowing, but still, one little packet. Let me get all that out of there. If you noticed, one packet, like I said, this was 1.5 ounces. If you 1.6 ounces gives you an 80-to-1 ratio, 1.3 ounces 100-to-1. So figure a 1.5 ounce packet getting you around 85 to 90-to-1 ratio. Been doing that for a few years. Never had a problem. My weed eater starts up first time, second time, every time. But has never given me problems. Cleaner burning. Doesn't your spark arrestor screen and all that sort. Doesn't carbon up near as fast. All that sort. So a lot better. Use with, in fact, here, use with all 2-stroke handheld equipment where JASO FD, ISO EGD, or APITC oils are specified. Again, for you guys that just go down and grab Mobile One off the shelf, probably don't care, but there is specific, just like your car, specific standards for small engine oils. Specified steel, Husqvarna, Echo, Toro, Shindawa, Craftsman, Formix steel, and hybrid for Shindawa engines. So that's almost everybody out there, isn't it? Steel, Husqvarna, Echo, Toro, Craftsman. I don't know who else makes weed eaters, or at least like the professionals and that. So I know most of them I see around here are either the Echo or the steel. A few Husqvarnas. But still, that's good to go. And then, let's see if I can do this without spilling now. Just fill this guy up then with fuel. I haven't put a vent cap in this one yet, that's why it's chugging. You know, because the EPA was smarter than, you know, anybody else. EPA doesn't understand how vacuum and that sort works. There we go. There we go. And that's that. Good to go for another year, another season. Do this again next year. Ooh, head rush getting up. But anyway, yeah, got any questions about oil? Oh my gosh, train. You won't hear a train for 3 or 4 days, and all of a sudden they want to come by every 15, 20 minutes. But yeah, if you got any questions, make sure to message me, leave a comment. 360plusoil.com will always get you to me, to AMSOIL with my link. If you don't use my link, or go to 360plusoil, if you do decide to check out, make sure you use my referral code 1382872. That way it makes sure any purchase you make get linked to me, and I'll be able to help you. I'll know that you made a purchase. I'll be the only one that knows, besides AMSOIL, of course. I'll be able to help you out with any questions, comments, concerns, recommendations, and that sort. But yeah, 360plusoil.com definitely get you any answers. Most of the answers, tech studies. Like I said, we got the Echo study we did on there with the Echo weed eater trimmer. You guys can look at, see how we compared and whatnot. They totally break down the equipment. They'll get brand new equipment, about 6 of them or so. So it's not just a one-time shot of, oh my gosh, this one did great. It's a comparison between about 6 or 8 different pieces of equipment, trimmers and that sort, engines. But yeah, 360plusoil.com. Let me know if you got any questions, need any recommendations. Definitely won't sell you nothing you don't need. I'll just recommend what we've got if you got questions and what will work the best for your applications.